Man who served under Walz says governor retired before unit head deployment news, as Tim Walz's military record under scrutiny as he joins Kamala Harris on Democratic ticket. Harris-Walz camouflage Midwest princess hat reaches nearly $1 million in. Man who served under Walz says governor retired before unit head deployment news, as Tim Walz's military record under scrutiny as he joins Kamala Harris on Democratic ticket. Harris-Walz camouflage Midwest princess hat reaches nearly $1 million in sales the day after release. Trump and Harris to debate on ABC. Trump says he wants two more.
Trump says he will do interview with Elon Musk on Monday, 12th of August, night. Kamala Harris leads Donald Trump in more than a dozen national polls. Harris versus Trump race is first since 1976 without a Bush, Clinton, or Biden.
U.S. troops to defend Israel. Poll finds. IDF confirms woman listed as missing since October 7 was killed during attack. Reportedly, race riots put Britain on collision course with Elon Musk.
FBI seizes Republican Representative Ogle's cell phone in funding probe. Rudy Giuliani agrees to deal to end his bankruptcy case, pay creditors' financial advisor $400,000. Former Trump attorney Jenna Ellis to cooperate in Arizona fake electors case, charges to be dropped.
Tim Walz talks about his family's struggle to have children in first speech as VP candidate. Reportedly, Donald Trump repeats baseless claim that Justin Trudeau could be the son of Fidel Castro. Yusha Vance defends husband's childless cat lady's comment as a quip in first solo interview.
Kamala Harris and running mate Tim Walz just kicked off their campaign in Philadelphia, and Kamala Harris video shows moment she asked Tim Walz to be her running mate. J.D. Vance called Tim Walz a San Francisco-style liberal. Walz visited the city for the first time last month, while Vance lived there for years. Trump campaign criticizes Walz for state law providing tampons in schools.
U.S. needs strong president. Donald Trump asserts Putin, Xi, Kim Jong-un are at top of their game in Musk interview. Trump says his biggest fear is nuclear warming, with China to overtake U.S. in capability.
Canada Chief Human Rights Commissioner resigns after controversy over Israel activity. An embattled human rights chief resigns, as review concludes he intentionally omitted name information. Pro-fox hunting group says UK hunters should be protected ethnic minority. Judge rules against RFK Jr. in fight to be on New York's ballot. Says he is not a state resident. Kamala Harris backed by 50% of Brits compared to just 21% for Donald Trump, new poll shows. Voters trust Harris more than Trump on economy, as per a poll. Trump falsely claims a crowd photo from Harris' campaign rally in Detroit was created using AI, and former U.S. Congress Speaker McCarthy tells Trump to stop questioning size of Harris's crowds. Maduro calls Venezuelans to delete WhatsApp in growing crackdown, and with Zionism behind this, after disputed election result, Maduro blames Jews for Venezuelan crises. Chinese-American posing as pro-democracy activist, spied on dissidents for Beijing, the plot of a spy novel. Russia detains Italian man for flying a drone near the Kremlin.
Hezbollah leader says group will respond but keeping Israelis waiting is part of punishment. Israeli minister says it may be moral to starve 2 million Gazans, but no one in the world would let us. Pakistan announces intention to supply arms to Iran at OIC meeting, claimed in a report 5 days ago. Iran, Pakistan call meeting of OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, after Hamas leader killed. Moscow says Ukraine has launched cross-border attack inside Russia. Reportedly, Ukraine had a chance to blow up Russia's best warplanes on the tarmac. The White House said no, and now it's too late. It has been reported as Russia cannot launch a summer offensive this year.
In the U.S., Pakistani national with ties to Iran charged in connection to a foiled assassination plot potentially targeting Trump. U.S. neo-Nazi terror group aims to revive activities ahead of election. Reportedly, U.S. and China fentanyl cooperation deepens as Beijing tightens controls for precursor chemicals.
U.S. to convene Sudan ceasefire talks, even without Khartoum. 2 days ago, Sudan says, consultations with U.S. conclude without agreement. Putin to hold talks with Palestinian president in Moscow. China, Indonesia hold first 2+2 senior officials meeting amid South China Sea tensions.
Hezbollah chief claims Israel in decline as IDF warns border areas on high alert. U.S. for European nations call on Iran to refrain from attacking Israel. In Brazil, Amorim blocks Israeli armored vehicles and defense proposes production in RS. Reportedly, Belarusian air defenses shot down 13 drones flying from Ukraine on August 9, and Belarus summons Ukraine envoy over alleged drone airspace violations. Ukrainian troops have captured 28 settlements amid Kursk incursion, Russia says. Putin cuts off governor who admitted Ukraine advancing in Russia, and Putin replaces Gerasimov with FSB chief Bortnikov in Kursk operation. Putin says, Ukraine's attack on Russia is aimed at ceasefire negotiations. IDF, Shin Bet name another 12 Hamas, Islamic Jihad operatives killed in strike at Gaza school, bringing total to 31. 3 days ago, White House deeply concerned, after Gaza officials report, more than 100 killed in school sheltering thousands. UNSC schedules meeting to discuss Israeli strike on Gazan school for August 13. Hamas says it won't take part in Gaza hostage ceasefire deal talks.
German armored vehicles are rolling into Kursk again after more than 80 years. Ukraine stuns Russia. In Germany, AfD and BSW heat things up in the east. Anti-Ukraine sentiment is growing.
South Korea could take years to rebuild spy networks after leak exposes undercover agents. 10 days ago, South Korea arrests official over alleged data leak exposing spies, as claimed in reports. Previously, South Korea reports leak from its Military Intelligence Command. Canadian North Korea expert UN official detained in Switzerland on espionage charges.
Israel detains soldiers on allegations of sexual assault of a detainee from Gaza. Turkey formally asks to join the genocide case against Israel at the UN court. Norway warns Israel of harming diplomatic ties with Oslo, and EU say Israel revoking Norwegian diplomat status unwarranted, not helpful. Recently, Israel cancels accreditation of Norwegian diplomats to Palestinian areas.
The Global Alliance for Responsible Media is discontinuing after Elon Musk's X filed an antitrust lawsuit against it, as advertisers axe corporate responsibility scheme after lawsuit from Musk's X. 3 days ago, Musk's X sues Unilever, Mars and CVS over massive advertiser boycott. Montreal man wants to sue social media platforms for being too addictive. Meta and Google secretly targeted minors on YouTube with Instagram ads.
MTV Video Music Awards move back a day because of U.S. presidential debate and will air on September 11th. Isaac Hayes' family demands $3 million from Donald Trump for playing "Hold On, I'm Coming" at campaign events. Pro-Trump Super PAC says it will spend $100 million on ads between now and Labor Day.
Mexico rejects Ukraine's request to arrest Russia's Putin during visit. UN official says 95% of Ukrainian soldiers in Russian captivity face torture. Former intelligence agent Ritter says FBI searched his home because of ties to RT, Sputnik. 1 year ago, it had been reported as Russia uses former UN weapons inspectors Ukraine misinformation for domestic propaganda. Reportedly, Tim Walz's net worth is less than the average American's. Joe Rogan says he supports RFK Jr. over Trump, Harris. Trump took a private flight with Project 2025 leader in 2022.
Trump says abortion's not a big factor in elections anymore. Evangelical leaders call out danger as prophets tie God to Donald Trump. Arizona grand jurors discussed indicting Trump, but prosecutors urge them not to.
Catalonia former leader Puigdemont returns to Spain despite arrest warrant, and Catalan separatist Puigdemont heads for Belgium after dodging arrest in Spain, party says. Brazil and Nicaragua cut ties over Ortega's persecution of clergy, as Brazil, Nicaragua expel each other's ambassadors.
Crypto leaders demand Gary Gensler's removal in White House meeting. Donald Trump Jr. is launching a crypto platform to take on the banks. Japan's top finance regulator hesitant on crypto ETF approvals.
Over $2.5 billion in crypto positions liquidated in 7 days. Reportedly, crypto market hits extreme fear, surpassing FTX collapse lows, and Bitcoin whales increased holdings during crypto market mayhem, but ETF investors didn't buy the dip. Hedge fund giant Capula reports owning $464 million in spot Bitcoin ETF shares. BlackRock and Nasdaq seek rule change to list options on spot Ethereum ETFs. Post-Wazux's hack, India's CoinDCX starts investor protection fund with $6 million. Hong Kong virtual bank MOX starts Bitcoin, Ether ETF trading, plans direct crypto trading, and Hong Kong rules out more virtual banks, citing need for healthy development of sector. Binance challenges $86 million Indian tax show cause notice, claimed by source. Celsius sues Tether over $3.3 billion Bitcoin claim, and Celsius targets Tether, Badger DAO, Compound, and Netanyahu's niece and nephew in lawsuits. 9 months ago, crypto lender Celsius Network cleared to exit bankruptcy, and 17 months ago, it had been reported as Celsius seeks $2 billion withdrawn before bankruptcy. 9 months ago, bankruptcy court confirms that retail borrowers' crypto belongs to Celsius. SEC files fraud charges against promoters of Novatech, alleged $650 million crypto pyramid scheme.
USDC on September 2nd is part of delisting. Mark Cuban says to get rich, invest 10% of savings in high-risk investments, but if it's Bitcoin, throw a Hail Mary and pretend it's gone. Animoca and Lamborghini collaborate for Web3 automotive experience. FTX, Alameda ordered to pay $12.7 billion to creditors by U.S. judge. Google to implement web monetization in Chrome for micropayments for content.
Russia legalizes crypto mining and brings an experimental regime. U.S. policy group proposes Bitcoin tax-free zone for digital economy growth. Brazil grants approval to world's first spot Solana ETF.
In the U.S., former Syrian prison official charged with immigration fraud about his time running a Syrian prison where prisoners, including political dissidents, were physically mistreated. DNA on weapons implicates former U.S. Green Beret in attempted Venezuelan coup, federal officials say. U.S. federal judge again dismisses Mexico's lawsuit against most gun manufacturers.
Interpol recovers $41 million in largest ever BC scam in Singapore. FTC sends nearly $1.9 million in refunds to customers harmed by Hey Dude's violations of the mail order rule. Bloomberg gives $600 million to 4 black medical schools endowments. 7 U.S. personnel injured in Monday rocket attack at Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq, including 2 evacuated for further care. Israeli hospitals declare themselves prepared for mass casualty events. Strikes on Israel to come from Iran, Yemen, Lebanon, claims Hezbollah leader.
Former Bank of Japan board member rules out another rate hike this year. Director of the Central Bank of Brazil insists on possible rate hikes. Fitch downgrades Israel to their outlook negative.
European Parliament calls on EU countries to provide weapons for Ukrainian F-16 fighter jets. Russia sends Iran air defense systems as fears of regional war loom. Reported by NYT. Russia says forces repel Ukrainian armored raid in Kursk region.
Italian fighters scrambled over Baltic Sea to intercept Russian aircraft. Zelensky confirms contracts for producing over 1M drones in 2024. EU governments give green light to €4.2 billion payout to Ukraine. X is closing San Francisco headquarters and relocating staffers to San Jose and shared space with X.AI in Palo Alto, CEO Linda Yaccarino says in leaked email, as Elon Musk says no choice but for X to shut San Francisco HQ. X and Rumble file antitrust complaint against Global Ad Group. Airbnb details plans to expand beyond short-term rentals, including co-hosting and relaunching experiences.
Say, Reeves's first moves may undercut growth plan, and £50 billion more public spending needed each year for long-term growth, claims the think tank. Bloomberg reports that Chinese students are paying agents $50,000 for finance jobs as markets hours.
Mazda quietly ditched key fob remote start for subscription app. 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe recalled, hit with stop sale order over airbags. The Ram 1500 Classic will finally die after 17 years in production.
Canadian embassy in Israel to reportedly evacuate families of diplomats. Berlin student found guilty of incitement for chanting "From the river to the sea" at pro-Palestine rally. Israeli rights group, B'Tselem, says government torturing Palestinian prisoners.
In the UK, PM says communities will be safe in face of riots. Far-right groups plan to target homes in attack on lawyers, police told. UK probes whether state actors stoked far-right riots.
Insider trading. In South Africa, 8 shot dead, 5 arrested in sting operation on planned cash-in-transit robbery in Cape Town. More than $1 million worth of cocaine washes up on Florida beach after Hurricane Debby.
Banks poised to seize more buildings in Hong Kong. PNG says, Hong Kong's Cathay Pacific to buy more than 100 aircraft as part of $100 billion Hong Kong dollars investment. China sets over 300 goals for socialist modernization by 2029.
South Korea logs biggest current account since 2017 on AI demand and reportedly declaring crisis. South Korean firms tell managers to work 6 days a week. German factory orders rise first time this year on cars, metals. Chinese battery industry faces consolidation wave.
Japan's $1.1 trillion stock meltdown rewrote the record books, and Bank of Japan's Uchida says no rate hike when financial markets unstable. Japan hedge funds post best single-day performance. Goldman says, Japan spent $68 billion to prop up yen twice in second quarter, as Japan likely sold foreign securities to fund FX intervention. IDF says it has no intel to confirm or deny Hamas claims its guards killed wounded Israeli hostages. Hamas armed wing says 1 Israeli hostage killed, 2 women captives seriously wounded. 6 months ago in Israel, sperm from 91 fallen soldiers retrieved, bill to allow use awaiting Knesset approval.
China's autonomous vehicle startup WeRide seeks U.S. IPO at $5 billion valuation. Tesla stops taking orders for cheapest Cybertruck, offers $100,000 version now. China's Hesai to be removed from U.S. Defense Department blacklist. For months ago, LiDAR maker Hesai sues U.S. government, denies alleged link to China's military.
UAE economy continues robust growth across real estate, tourism, manufacturing, reported by OPEC. UN body says Brazil is close to leaving the hunger map and Lula celebrates, working in the right direction. 76% of Hong Kong firms have never hired young people with special needs, survey finds.
GM cuts China jobs as it resets in world's biggest car market. More than half of new cars sold in China are now electric or hybrid, and global EV sales up 21% in July as China records biggest jump of 2024, as per Motion. Jaguar's latest plan is to basically stop selling cars for a year. 2025 GMC Terrain is boxy again and ditches the push-button shifter.
Ceremony on 79th anniversary of Nagasaki bombing, and G7 ambassadors to miss Nagasaki atomic bomb memorial over Israel's exclusion. Saudi Arabia says Hamas leader's killing was blatant violation of Iran's sovereignty. U.S. bans imports from 5 more Chinese companies over Uyghur forced labor allegations.
Israel PM's office announced Israel will attend August 15 talks to finalize the details for implementing deal. Qatar, Egypt, US invite Israel and Hamas to resume Gaza ceasefire talks. Hostage and ceasefire deal talks stall over new Netanyahu demands, Israeli officials say, as Netanyahu to reject deal releasing all hostages if it doesn't end Hamas control of Gaza.
European Commission announces hot-rolled coil anti-dumping investigation into Egypt, India, Japan, and Vietnam. U.S. tops China as Germany's biggest trading partner. Japan's automakers lose market share in China and Thailand as EVs spread.
In Germany, Bundestag sees no issue with Ukraine using Leopards on Russian territory. Natural enemies China and Russia brought together by U.S. Democratic leaders, says Donald Trump. Putin signs law allowing foreign banks to open branches in Russia. 11 years ago, Putin signs law banning opening of foreign bank branches in Russian Federation.
Roblox banned from Turkey for causing abuse of children following an Instagram blackout. A TikTok ban may be next. Venezuela's Maduro blocks X access in country for 10 days. YouTube no longer opens in Russian desktop browsers.
A new report finds Boeing's rockets are built with an unqualified workforce, and NASA says Boeing Starliner astronauts may fly home on SpaceX in 2025. Cybersecurity firm Trend Micro explores sale, sources say. Petrobras reports 2.6 billion Brazilian reals loss in Q2. Company will pay 13.57 billion Brazilian reals in dividends. Wall Street sees end of Fed's quantitative tightening this year. JP Morgan raises odds of U.S. recession by year-end to 35%. Warren Buffett now owns more T-bills than the Federal Reserve. Nobel laureate Yunus will head Bangladesh's interim government after unrest ousted Hasina. U.S. revokes Sheikh Hasina's visa after Bangladesh ouster, as former PM seeks asylum in the West, and reportedly, former Bangladeshi Prime Minister considers several countries for asylum. Attempting to flee country, 2 former Bangladesh ministers detained at Dhaka airport. In major reshuffle in Bangladesh Army, Major General Zia sacked. Bangladeshi former PM Begum Khaleda Zia, other oppositionists freed from prisons.
Hamas names Yahya Sinwar, mastermind of the October 7th attacks, as its new leader in show of defiance. Antony Blinken warns Iran and Israel not to escalate conflict in Middle East. Putin asks Iran to avoid civilian casualties in Israel response.